Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Easter Monday and we have a very weird weather system today because there's basically a storm over Europe and we are like right in the middle of the storm, in the eye of the storm. So at the moment we have like absolutely zero wind, like 0.6 knots I think the measurement says. But in 2 hours, like the forecast varies, some say we get 15 knots, some say we get 40 knots. So I don't know what we will get, but we're gonna check out the new 2024 AC-1 slalom sails. We just got to the lake and there's absolutely zero wind, so I cannot really believe that in half an hour, 1 hour, there's supposed to be 20 knots here. But I guess it's the perfect time to take out the sail of the car and show you the new AC-1 2024 sail. And hopefully in an hour it looks better than this. Okay, here we have the 7.0. I actually already unrigged the 7.8 and tried it for 20 minutes. And it's much improved in light wind, I feel, but I will tell you why that is in a second. So we're just gonna unroll it now. And it's so fun because I have about 10 sails to unbox that are completely new, and this feeling never gets old. As you can see, there's a spare batten inside. Let's check the 7.0. Although it feels kind of weird to rig a 7.0 when there's 5 knots of wind on the lake. Guys, I think the wind is coming. I'll just quickly explain to you what's new on the sail, because I want to get out on the water in case the wind comes in 10 minutes. Okay, so let's quickly go over what's new. So the sail has a completely different outline below the boom. And what does that mean? We brought the profile more towards the front. And I think what the 0.7 sails were always kind of lacking a little bit was the low-end performance. So this year the focus was to get the low-end performance up there and the speed on the low wind up while maintaining the strong characteristics of the sail in the high wind. And by bringing the profile more forward, we're also using different battens that give a deeper profile in the front. We could do another thing, and that was from the batten above the boom, we could cut the leech, and we have a much smaller leech on the top of the sail. We needed the kind of bigger sail on the top before because this gives stability. But with the stability coming from below the boom now, we could cut the top, and with this the sail feels much lighter, and especially in lighter wind we get a huge performance boost. But that's the theory. Now let's rig up the sail and actually see if I can feel this on the water myself. Let's go. Guys, I don't know what's happening now, but the wind all of a sudden, you can see by the boats, is coming in. And there's this green stuff in the air flying around, and the gusts are coming. No joking, the flat water was like 20 minutes ago. And look at this. Holy. Okay guys, these boats are really a little bit fucked now because there's so much wind, and it's pretty dangerous also because the water, I don't know how warm it is, maybe 6-7 degrees now, but it's still super cold because yesterday was the first warm day and one sail already ripped, and these boats don't look like they're doing well. And also for us, let's film over there, also for us it's pretty windy with the 7.0. I hope the wind goes down a little bit from this, because at the moment this is over 30 knots and too much for the 7.0. What do you think?
Yeah, it's unsailable, especially for me. I'm 10 kilograms less than Nils.
And I was super. If the wind stays like this or goes down.
But these are our lakes, you know, we are coming from Sardinia with perfectly constant winds, and now it's between 0 and 40 knots.
Let's head out into this storm. It's gonna be a good test of the new sails, I think. I think I just hit my top speed for Kospudna Lake with this new sail. I think I did 35.6 knots top speed. And yeah, that's my best run so far in this lake, because it's not so easy to go fast here. So let's get into what is new about this sail and what makes it stand out from the previous year's models. And I think one big criticism of 0.7 has always been in the past that the sails feel heavy. And a sail feeling heavy and a sail being heavy are actually two completely different things, because the feeling of a heavy sail comes from the sail having a lot of sail in the top and a lot of weight coming from the top. So you can actually have a sail that is lighter than another sail but feels heavier. And the other criticism of 0.7, I think, has been that the sails perform amazing in strong wind. You can get amazing speeds with them and they feel super controllable in strong wind. But they were always lacking, also I felt, this a little bit in the lower end. And this is what Andrea has addressed this year. And I think he did an amazing job, because I could feel it straight away on this sail, as well as the 7/8 that I tried a few days ago off camera. So what he did was to give the sail a completely different outline below the boom, and also using different sail battens. And by doing this, we could get a lot more performance in the lower end by moving the profile of the sail more towards the front and deeper. And this gives the sail a lot of stability as well. So the other thing that we could do resulting out of that, from this batten right here, batten number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this one above the boom, to the very top of the sail, over there, we could cut off a bit of the sail. So having less sail in the top makes the sail feel a lot lighter, and I was feeling this immediately on the water. And the main difference for me is that in the low wind, I was railing the board when I was never before railing the board and just getting stuck with the sail. So I felt like where I was doing with the old model before 20 knots, I was doing now 22 knots. Where I was doing before 24 knots, I was doing 26 knots. And this results as well in higher speeds, I think, because the more speed you have entering the slingshot you do, slingshot being the maneuver you do when you do speeds, the higher your top speed gets as well. Because imagine you go into the slingshot with 30 knots or with 32 knots. This makes a huge difference, of course. So yeah, I really feel like this year we managed to not just change something which a lot of brands use as advertisement. Like this year the sail or the board, it jibes so much better or whatever, but you sacrifice another thing. But I actually feel like we could improve in the light wind while keeping the strong wind performance of the sail and also increasing the speed hugely in light wind. And yeah, we got a lot of more sails to test. I don't know if I will make a video on all of the sails. Let me know below if that is something you would be interested in. I try to also give you the negative points, so let me think what is negative. Maybe one thing that I can say about these sails is we use the anti-UV monofilm, which is like this shiny monofilm here in the sail. And so what you notice, like straight out of the back, sometimes you have these tiny little kinks in the sail already coming out of the sail back, which I think all sail brands have, but because we use this shiny anti-UV monofilm, I think you can see them a little bit more coming straight out of the sail back, so this could be a little bit of a negative. And yeah, rotation was also pretty good. This was basically the same like last year, but it was already very good last year, so I cannot say that I felt much of a change there. Yeah, pretty good first test. If you like this kind of video, subscribe to the channel below. Bye bye. Gonna find some food now. It's Easter Monday, so this will be difficult. See you guys.